and your little plant thing is so cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to keep like not too many distractions, but we try.
Yeah, a little flair.
So where am I catching you at?
I'm at home, just chilling on my couch. Yep.
Are you in LA or?
Yes, I'm in LA, which is
Okay,
where
awesome.
I was born and raised in Burbank, which is, right in LA County, basically.
Okay. Perfect. So being in LA, did you always have your eye on acting?
Um, kind of, actually, my family has been working in the business since like the 40s, basically. My great grandmother came out here with her children and she wanted to like work on the Paramount lots and whatever. And so my grandmother grew up being an extra in lots of stuff. And then I had stunt people in the family and, my mom does like extras casting. And so it was kind of, I did a lot of extra work as a kid. And so that kind of opened me up to, the world of, film and TV.
So were you practicing stunts as a little girl?
No, I was not. But both of my parents were precision drivers, and they did, they did precision driving, and so I had a lot of drivers in the family. It was just my one great uncle who was a stunt guy for Jack Lemmon, and he was like one of the original stunt guys for Ronald McDonald and the Kool-Aid Man.
Nice fun fact.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'd love to know more about this time in your life, but can you tell me what brought you to this role? Were you seeking something like this out, or did you just happen to stumble upon it?
I stumbled upon it. It was just came in like a regular audition. And I read the script and I like was very, very drawn to the script. I thought it was like so cool because I've done a lot of sci-fi in the past and in some action stuff. And me personally, I don't actually like watch a ton of action and sci-fi stuff, but I've like somehow found myself in projects that, are like that. But this one was like, I read the script, and usually with action scripts, sometimes there's like a ton of description and you're just like, oh, you're trying to get through, the fight sequences and whatever. But this one just really kept me hooked. And I think it was, the time travel element, and the element of like normal people getting drawn into this like really abnormal situation. And it just, I don't know, the script just kept like gripping me. And then by the end, I was like, I really want to do this project. Yeah.
So beyond the script, there's particular role. You definitely handle a big gun. Did you read that and think like, that's for me? Or were you like, I'm going to try that?
Not exactly. It was one of those ones where, it's a role. It's interesting, with acting, with different roles, you kind of explore different parts of yourself. And with this one, it was an invitation to basically inhabit like this strong part of myself, that because to be a sergeant, you have to like physically kind of emanate a kind of authority and or just kind of confidence in that like you use your body to handle this weapon or whatever, and so it was a fun exercise in that, and I found it empowering actually to like explore that part of myself. But yeah, when I saw it, I was definitely like, this is very different from me. Like just myself. Yeah.
Did you have any shooting experience before?
No, actually, I was on a show called Falling Skies for 4 seasons, and that was also an alien invasion show. But I played like a nurse, kind of like a medical person on that show. And so everyone else got gun training, but I got medical training. And so I was always like a little jealous because I was just curious, but I'd never shot like a gun before this movie. So it was like 0 to 100, because then I was like shooting in a machine gun at a camera on full auto. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. And were you like, were you practicing with the same kind of machinery that was in the film?
Yes. Well, we started with rubber guns, which are very heavy. Not as heavy as real guns, but yeah, we started in a big warehouse, and we had these military guys who had kind of, had like SEAL team experience, just like, these guys who just fought in wars and stuff. And they came, and yeah, and we would like march around this huge warehouse, like all of us, like Chris Pratt, and then like all of the military characters. And we learned like these different like walking formats where you like raise your gun up and you go here and you go down, and then like how to if you're in a room or you're entering a room, how to like flank your teammates, and how to like cover each other, and like basic, and then like gun etiquette too, where obviously like you never want your, I don't even remember the name of it, the muzzle or the front of it. You don't want the front of it, obviously, going past someone, you put it down. So it's never like, there's no, so you just to prevent accidents and things. But yeah, but then, then I had special training, for just my specific scenes and things with just how to handle the gun and the safety. And there's so much.
Yeah. Well, you definitely looked confident handling the gun. I'll tell you that.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Well, and I'm curious, speaking of being a confident leader, if the aliens do attack, are you fighting or are you hiding?
Oof. Yeah. I've always considered myself a good hider. And I was always like that kid in hide and seek that would like have the best hiding spot, where then at the end they were like, okay, we give up. Seychelle, just come out. So I think based on that, I'd be a hider, but now because I have, fake fought, I think that I could, if they needed me, then they could call on me, but I'll be in the corner until they need me.
And how was it seeing these huge, they're pretty fantastical, creatures. Is it is it a combination of like CGI? Are there real people in any of these? Like, tell me about the aliens.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of CGI, or it'll be like yeah, there's like a lot of like balls and stuff that are used, and like weird like green bits of green tape stuck to everything. So it definitely requires your imagination. But then you'll see like half of an alien, that's like scary looking, and it's always interesting because I've seen prosthetic aliens on multiple projects, and it's so interesting how it truly, at least in my experience, it gets a like kind of like an instinctual almost reaction out of me. Like at first, you look at it and your body's like, whoa, like that's a creature, and you're like, whatever my human instinct is, it's like, and then you get used to it. But it's so incredible the things they do, and to see things CGI'd after the fact is always so bizarre and cool.
That was my next question. Like, when you saw it, were you taken aback? Because it was pretty, it was incredible looking at it.
Yeah, yes, I was. Because there's some scenes towards the end of the movie where we're, in battle. And Chris has a big stunt, where he was like, he like flies back or something. And, and it included like, I don't remember, maybe it was like a bungee or something, but, there was no alien there, it was just the stunt, and, people calling cues like now, this, that, and so we're just like being actors, and we're just like, okay, here, and like, but, when you actually see the whole sequence together with aliens, like crawling on the ceiling and like shooting things from their mouths, I'm like, whoa, like, and it's just like, the magic of film. It's just so cool.
Yeah. So do you think you'll be seeking out more huge pictures like this?
I just kind of see what comes, but what I really liked about this project, I did like that it challenged me in a physical way. So I think I would like, I would like roles like that because, it helps me grow, as it makes me stronger. But I also love how this is like such an ensemble piece, and there's like so many different characters, and they're all different. And that was so fun because everyone's just bringing their own thing to it. And it's just an ensemble is just fun because there's just, so much energy. And so, and I guess, big action movies like this have that element a lot of the time. So yeah, I'm sorry, the siren.
No problem. Well, we're almost at the end, but I'd love to know, can you tell me one of the biggest lessons that you learned from acting?
Oh, wow. It's a big question. Yeah, I guess, kind of like what I said before, that what I've been thinking a lot, actually, I've been reading this book, but I have read over time. The acting teacher Uta Hagen, she was an actress, and she mentions she was like very successful on the stage for a time, and then she became a teacher, and she would have students come into her class and they would say, oh, I can't play a role like that. Like, I'm not naturally that way, like I'm not sarcastic, so sarcasm's really hard for me, or I'm not tough, or I don't know. And you can convince yourself of these things. Oh, I'm not like that, so I can't do that. But she's like, well, think about different moments in your life. When you have an electrician come over, you feel really like clueless because you have no idea what they're talking about, or if there's like a dog that runs in the room, you get like, oh, like there's all these different parts. So you just think of like one moment in your life where you were like that and you did inhabit that quality. And so you are capable of portraying that and having that in you. And I don't know if this is making sense, but that acting has taught me that that we are not limited by the ways that we see ourselves, and that just because I think sometimes I'm not funny doesn't mean that I can't be funny, or whatever it is, and I just think that it's helped me kind of expand my perception of what I'm capable of. And that's been a nice thing for me. So, yeah.
Well, I love that. And I definitely think that Latina creators are limitless. So I'd love to know, do you have any advice, last question, for our Latina creators?
Oh, yeah, I mean, just, I don't sound cliche, but it's stay true to yourself, and I think self-trust is a big thing. And obviously it's a lifelong pursuit and journey with ourselves. But I think trusting that what you have to offer is worthy and is likely to connect with one of the 7 billion people on this planet. And so, that trusting that is helpful. So.
I love that. That was great advice. And it's been amazing talking to you. I can't wait to see what else we can see you in. And I hope audiences all catch Tomorrow War on July 2nd, Amazon Prime.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
You have a good one.
Take care.